Welcome, everyone, to Spiritually Rich. This is a podcast for men and women who want to be rich on the inside with love, joy, peace, and happiness. I'm so glad you're here today. We have a really powerful message coming through. It's a message I knew many, many years ago that I would be speaking about. And to be honest with you, it has taken me some time to actually ground into the truth of who I am as a soul. So, a living, breathing vessel of pure God source energy. My spiritual journey has taken me to many different locations all around the earth, all across the globe. And here's the thing that nobody ever told me, even through all of my spiritual pilgrimages, just all my portal work everywhere, just bringing in light, anchoring in the new earth energies through my body. Nobody ever told me that someday the spiritual practices that I was doing and what I thought was filling my heart with light and joy and love, that all of a sudden that would stop lighting me up. And what would happen was I would have to be brought to my hands and my knees and pray like I've never prayed before for how am I fulfilled? I have the marriage of my dreams. I live my destiny. I've literally manifested heaven on earth in my reality, in my home. I'm a very, very, very fulfilled and very powerful woman. And yet, very recently, everything came to a screeching halt. In fact, I was in Egypt when my reality crumbled. And I was told there is a bigger call for you to answer. And leading pilgrimages to Egypt and getting access to the top of the pyramid for a private activation, that wasn't it. And I said, "Oh my gosh, if this isn't it, what is it? What is it?" And that's when the miracles started to happen. That is when I fully came online as my own God. And I'm here to share with you an urgent message that we cannot be taking lightly anything that is going on in the world. And we cannot be passive any longer. Our time to be passive complainers about what's going on in the world. So we cannot complain. We cannot complain about what is going on in the world. Why? Because we have the power within us to create a new reality. And when we step into that power, we see how powerful God is and how powerful God moves through us and co-creates with us. We know that more and more people who are doing this, becoming their own gods, creating their own realities, that is how we change the world. But we can't be passive anymore. We absolutely cannot accept status quo anywhere in our lives. Why? I'm going to tell you what status quo correlates to in this day and age. Okay. It correlates to status quo. Here's the line. Okay. When you accept status quo and when you watch what's going on in the world and you even complain about what's going on in the world, guess what side you are on? Boom. Old Earth. Old Earth. It doesn't matter if you're a light worker. It doesn't matter if you have pure intentions. If this is where your energy is and your focus is, this is what continues. It continues to be in your reality, and it continues to be what manifests for the human race. Now, I want to talk to you about the line. And so many people felt this shift. And I hope you felt this shift. About 2 weeks ago, there was a massive shift in consciousness. Some people rose up. If you have been doing your deep spiritual work, if you have been doing your soul contract work, if you have been abiding to what God wants you to do and being in alignment with God, some of us rose way up. And what happened when we rose way up is we got on the other side. And to me, that shift was embodying the frequencies of God and becoming more and more aligned with new earth vision, new earth frequency, because we must become that in which we want to create. And so we must seek the kingdom. We must seek the kingdom, and always, whatever that means to you, seek the kingdom, seek God, because it's not what we personally want. It's not our will that is going to create a better world. It's through God's will that God is going to create through us. And our number one job right now is to create space for God. And this is where I think the number one challenge, at least for me, the number one challenge was, how do I create space for God and co-create with God when I am in the middle of worrying about a lot of things, when I am scared, when I see what's going on in the world and I don't know how to make it better? I feel maybe like my hands are tied. And I went to God with this, saying, hey, I know that I'm one of your disciples. I know that you're trying to work through me. I can't see anything anymore. It was like darkness. I can't see anymore. I can't hear your voice anymore. And I feel alone in this mission that I'm on, right? And I'm supposed to be a leader and I feel alone. It's kind of like Moses being out in the middle of nowhere and going to God and being like, okay, what do you want me to do today? But I wasn't hearing any of that. And it was like, I don't know if you guys feel any of this, right? Or even feeling like the comfort or the joy or the love or the peace that's inside of you. It's spiritually rich. It's really dedicated to turning all of that on. That in which is already inside of us. And I was reminded of this today as I was reading the Bible and I was listening to some other um, uh, spiritual leaders who are talking about childlike play and how children are so pure and their hearts are so pure and they're so innocent and they just laugh and play. And we have some kids that live in the backyard, and it's just joy and screeching and laughing and having so much fun. Well, that is what God is asking me to return to. And that is what God is asking all of his children to return to. Childlike innocence. When you return to childlike innocence, and you can be happy and carefree and joyful and content and relaxed, knowing that you don't have to worry about a thing. Why? Because it's all in God's hands. It's all in God's hands. And I'm a member of a spiritual community where, people in the spiritual community, I love being part of a community, but I don't go into the depths of what's going on. I don't pay attention to, government things. I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. Why? I'm riding with God. And what God told me about all of it is just if you put attention on any of it, it grows. So take your attention off of what is going on outside of you. Return to that childlike innocence inside of you. Remember the reason why you were born. The reason why you were born was to create your own reality. It's to live a purpose through God. And it's to bring something extraordinary to the world, something that only you can bring to the world. It's to live a purpose for God, through God, and God works through you as the vessel. You're not here to slave away. You're not here to live in, unhappy circumstances. You're certainly not here to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. That's God's job. We, somewhere along the line, as human beings, learned that we have to do it all and we have to play God or pretend that we are God. But that's not actually true. The way that that works is within us are the genetic imprint or the genetic codes of us as souls. And when we co-create, when we turn on our soul, when we get connected to soul, when we do that deep cultivating work with soul, the light of our hearts, the light of our soul, the childhood dream, whatever you want to call it, when that awakens inside of us, it's our number one responsibility to listen to that calling. So the other thing that got me so far ahead from people who are healing, from people who are doing like past life regression, from people who are doing ayahuasca, blah, 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 all of that stuff this is the thing I did. I chose to follow my inner dream. I chose to live my inner dream. I chose to listen to my heart. I chose to be courageous and take leaps of faith that got me aligned with the life that God had for me. And the life that God has for all of his children is the promise of whatever it is that you dream about. Whatever it is your fantasy, that's what God promises you. And it's not to be taken lightly, right? It is to be taken lightly because it is light, but it's not to be taken lightly that anything that you're doing that is passive, anything that you're doing right now that is saying it doesn't matter, maybe it won't happen, any of those doubts, we're going to call that doubt. Any doubt that you have that cannot be accomplished, the dream that you have as promised by God, that God will not fulfill that promise to you and all the other people in the world who choose to, and this is the biggest thing, who choose to align with God's will over your will. So it's God over you. It's God first. It's the divine first. It's that plan over your plan, always and forever. And that's what's going to get you ahead faster. All right. So we're in a place right now, and just kind of tapping into some of the things that I've been picking up on and really got me charged up over the last couple days is that the agenda of the program, right, is to sever us from God. It's to take away our freedom. It's to leave us confused and separated, right? But I don't want you guys to believe any of that can actually possibly take place if you are aligning with God's will. If you're saying to yourself every day, I'm a vessel of God. How does God want to use me? How does God want to work through me? If you are surrendering your burdens, and I mean, don't pick them up. Stop picking up the stories of the past. Stop reliving the stories that have been going on, Because when you do that, you're going to get confused because that's part of the plan. But God has another plan. God has the plan, the playbook. And each one of you has your own plan inside of you. It's a blueprint, it's a template that awakens and activates your inner dream, your promise that you have, the desires that you have, and it accelerates it. And so years ago, when I answered the first call, I got reminded today that I answered two very big phone calls from God. The first one was to truly put 2 feet on the other side of that line and align with truly God's will. And what happened then was I saw my body, my physical body, become the dwelling place of God. And what happened was this massive light, and this came 2 nights ago, and it kept me up all night. This massive light just flooded into my heart. And I knew it changed everything because the way we're going to do this, the way we are going to change, quote unquote, the world is not the way that we think. It's not micromanaging life. It's not changing, this in the outer circumstances. It's not. It's making ourselves a holy vessel for God to work through us so that God can perform through us the miracles that we all want to see. And I'm so excited about that because as I'm kind of, reading in different places, like it's two sides of the coin. It's one life. We have one life, and think of that as a coin. You can't be on two sides of a coin. You can only be on one side, right? And the coin can flip back and forth, but ultimately, the life that God has chosen for you, for me, for all of his children who are um believe that it is not through our way, it is not through fighting, it is not through judging. God's got the judgment already. God's already figured out what is going to happen with everything that's going on in the world. God's already got it. He's got people on it. God's got agendas that we don't know about. It's eh, our job right now is to chill out, people. Totally chill out. And I know that's difficult. That is not an easy task, but literally what God is telling me to do is chill out. I am taking care of everything. I'm going to drop things in your lap when you need to know them. I'm going to tell you the messages as you need to know them. And if there's no message, go be happy, go be joyful. He shows me images of skipping, dancing, playing, loving. And that truly what that does. Okay? So think about that. If that is an inner state of being, and if we create what we are on the inside, if we project that on the outside, and that is what we attract to us, imagine, imagine that we start to behave, respond to life like a child, innocent, pure, happy, joyful. And if that's how our relationships go, because everything is a relationship, that's the calling right now, you guys. That's truly it. It's to remember who we are as children. We know that we have grown up in an adult life that we've been separated from God because of our upbringing. It's not our parents' fault. It's what was necessary. Because when we can no longer live separated from our truth, which is love, joy, which is our truth is God. Our truth is Christ-like, right? We can't obviously be Christ, but we can allow that energy in to take root in us, to drive us. This is where spiritually rich came from, the spirit moving through us. Think of, I mean, I have three children, and man, did those kids have and still have spirit, right? But as adults, why do our spirits go out? Why even do we allow the negative spirits in? The spirits that block our sense of knowing, the spirits that block our wisdom. Our inner wisdom is the book of knowledge. It's because we carry the burdens. It's because we have never been taught how to allow God truly in and to trust the unfolding of our life. At the same time, I know that there are people listening who are going to say, I trust the unfolding of my life and I'm okay, but I really want those big things to start happening for me. Here's the thing that I've seen, and I think that this was a big split. There are people who are in the spiritual community and in the light community that, and I never really considered myself a light worker. I am I am a minister or a bishop even. And so one thing that bothers me, or when, no, not bothers me, one thing that I've seen is that there is a split between light workers who want to just sit back and be woo all day, and those people who are going to be creators on earth. When you are a creator on earth, you have to take aligned action as God commands you to take aligned action. Or as you know, your instinct and your intuition is, I've got to take action on this. And as you start to take action in creating something extraordinary, your masterpiece of life, what happens is you develop the courage, the strength, the unyielding trust in the divine. You put everything, you say to yourself, okay, I am going to put everything on this. You put all your chips in one game. And that's the type of woman I am. I have put all my chips in one basket for 10 years. My chips are going in the basket of my future. My chips are going in the basket of whatever my dream is. My chips are going to go in the basket of I'm going to follow my heart ruthlessly. My chips are in the basket of I'm creating my own reality. Okay? And despite despite what goes on around me, despite what other people say to me about whether or not this is right or wrong, I'm still all in on the other side of the line. Again, heaven on earth is a real possibility for you, but that isn't going to be achieved unless you get 2 feet on the other side of the line and say, yeah, here I am, God. What do I do? Right? How do I, well, the step is return to childlike innocence. Truly, truly, truly return to childlike innocence. And how do we do that? We give the burdens. We have to give the burdens to God. And this is really important. If you don't know how to give the burdens to God, then get someone to help lift the weight off. And that someone might be me, that someone might be a pastor, that someone might be a healer, but I want to just warn against that. I believe that through God and allowing God into our hearts and souls and to turn on our God-like circuitry and to help us be our own gods and create our own reality, I believe that we don't need healers. I believe that we are healers. And that has been my experience. I have been able to heal myself. All the things that I've created, I have been able to heal myself. And I know that we are that powerful. I've had dreams where I've been healed. I've had just experiences where I've been healed, and that's amazing. So I don't think that we need to see healers. I think that we need to become healers. And how do we become healers? We become healers by aligning with God. We heal our bodies as we let go of the density, let go, let go, let go, let God, and we become our own healers. We become our own creators. We turn on the wisdom within us, that wisdom guides us. We don't hear any other voices. We don't pay attention to any other agendas. And someone, my husband actually said, you can be quite selfish in this way. And I said, but selfish when you're listening to your wisdom and you're creating a reality that is a new earth reality, that selfishness that once looked selfish to other people, because I was prioritizing myself, I was listening, I was like, okay, well, you can share that with me, but I'm not going to take on that imprint because that imprint doesn't come from truth. I'm going to listen to truth. I'm going to follow truth. And when I listened to truth and I followed truth, what happened was truth was created. And truth, what truth is a healed family, truth is love, truth is abundance, truth is peace, truth is love, truth is joy, happiness, truth is the spirit. Truth is the spirit of God moving through you. So today is a big day. It's a big day. It's a choice day. It's a choice to ask yourself, what side of the coin am I on today? What game am I playing? Where is my energy? Where is my focus? Is it on complaining about a life that all you don't have to live that life, but don't complain about it? You can be on the other side of the coin, which is this: how do I live my life for God today? How does God want me to truly live my life? Close the door on that other life. Close it, lock it, say, I'm not doing that anymore. Because what you put your focus on grows. And complaining about the things that aren't changing or worrying is the greatest sin. And I do have worries and I do get caught because yes, we are in a frequency war right now. And there are frequencies that like to come in, boom, I'm gonna hijack your brain. And that's where you start to spin. That's not God. That's not godly. God did not create that. So we have to have very thick skin right now. And yeah, thick skin, thick skin, and a soft, tender, juicy, ripe heart. Thick skin, because we've got to be able to. This is the earth we live in. This is the new earth. This is before, we're walking in the wilderness and we're following what God has to say. And God's saying right now, I know the way. I've already put it in your heart. I've already put the dream in your heart. I've already put the wisdom in your heart. What I need you to do right now is stop. Stop worrying. Stop complaining. Stop being focused on things they're not yours to control. They're mine. I've got it all. And start enjoying life, truly, 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 truly enjoying life. Live it to the fullest. And that's the message for today. If you guys are interested, and if I would love to know what you loved about what I shared, how you're going to take action towards a better life for yourself and for the world today, and what questions you have. And you can leave them in the comments. You can reply back to me in email. Thank you so much for being here on Spiritually Rich. I will see you next week.